So I have in front of me 4 bowls of coffee. They're a coffee from the same roast of around 5 weeks ago, but I've stored the coffees differently. In this video, I'm going to taste them and I'm going to see if I can tell the difference, if any, between each of the bowls, and hopefully, maybe pick out the storage methods used. Now, I don't know what's in each bowl. I've randomized them and there's a number on the bottom of the bowl to reveal the answers at the end to myself. But by the magic of video editing, I can let you see the answers now whilst I'm tasting, and they should appear on the screen right about now. Okay, these coffees have been brewing for around about 8 minutes now, so they've cooled just enough to begin tasting. I'm going to say from the outset, I am not the best coffee taster. I have a limited palate when it comes to coffee tasting, so this may be a little bit challenging, but interesting nonetheless. Okay, so there's some immediate differences in the bowls. If we start on this first one, you still get a sense of kind of the juiciness that coffee would have had when it was first roasted. But in the second bowl, it's just totally flat, it's dead. There's nothing lifting that coffee at all. You kind of sense that that must be one of the ground options there, potentially the ground coffee that was stored in a cupboard. A bit wishy-washy, a little bit of a hint of something, but not hugely so. And it kind of lifts at the end here again. So my sense is that the 2 bowls in the middle were ground coffees and the bowls on the end would be the whole bean coffees. I'll whiz through once more. Yeah, definitely, there's some nice juicy sweetness in there. Distinctly flat. Actually, as it cools now, it's becoming not a very pleasing cup of coffee. Subtle here. There's just something in the finish that I'm not enjoying. So I'm going to think that that maybe is the ground coffee from the freezer there. Oh, difficult. As it cools, that one's changed. My guess is potentially whole bean in the freezer, and possibly, if I'm right, the first one, which is probably the one that's cooled the best, is potentially whole bean. I kind of feel like this one here and maybe this one here are definitely better than the 2 in the middle. So at this stage, you know how well I've done. I don't, so I'm going to use my little list here to see what's going on the table. This one here, if I'm right, was whole bean stored in a cupboard, number 1 on my list here. And this is number 3. Okay, number 3 is whole bean stored in a freezer. That surprises me. I've not explored the frozen, non-frozen concept before, and clearly it's worth looking at in more detail. This one over here was my second favourite, yep, and that is whole bean. That is the whole bean stored in a cupboard. So I was clearly right in terms of the whole bean coffees, but not in terms of the storage methods. Of the ground ones, my least favourite would be this one, and this is number 2 on my list, which is ground coffee stored in a cupboard. Makes total sense to me. That was by far the worst on the table. And this one comes in at 3rd. Yep. Ground coffee stored in the freezer. Now, I'm not suggesting for a minute, that one was slightly better than this one, but neither of these were particularly good. I don't think there's any merit in storing ground coffee in a freezer. I just think there's no merit in storing ground coffee, full stop. Whereas the whole beans, it seems and it appears to me that storing coffee in a freezer has merits. If you've got any storage methods that work for you, please feel free to let me know. In the meantime, thanks for watching and have a great day.